Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you. On the list and, on the list for 4 years. Oh, no, I mean, this year, we haven't.
Where are you going to see?
Make us the, company. I'll get back to you.
That's.
So Splenda's coming in the next few weeks.
You only get two choices in the ballot.
Yeah.
I've got about 35.
On the ballot, I'm going to vote against it. I'm voting against it,
Let me
but
ask you
I'm,
this. I've got 35 local family-owned businesses throughout the city of Holyoke that have signed on for me to publicly say, not in any sort of forum.
yeah.
Mike Plaisance called me up. I'm gonna put it in the paper.
Well, you know
It's
what?
Max Savage for it.
Well, you know what? You could make it 2 more because Quantum Properties is against it,
That's what I did.
all right? Max Salvage is against it, right? And it's for 2 reasons. If our if our tax rate wasn't at the maximum amount, right? That's number one. And number 2, now I see what's going on with it too. As more and more cities signed on, the
Less
people,
comes our way.
less
Well,
and less
when they came to do their presentation, it was at 30%. Bigger got in?
22,
19.
19.
19.
Yeah.
And
it's
if
only gonna-
Boston signs in on it, guess who's going to get,
Yeah.
it's going to destroy it. All right, we'll get this going. Good evening, folks. It's 6:03. This is the Thursday, October 27th, Public Safety Meeting. To my left is City Councilor Howard Graney. To my right is City Councilor Mike Sullivan. I am Dan Bresnahan. I'd accept the motion to take the first order off the table.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
This order is filed by Kevin Jordan. In order that the City Council consider the acceptance of some private ways in the City of Holyoke as public ways. Yem, why don't you both of you guys just come on up? We have Yem Lip from the DPW and also
Mike McManus.
Mike McManus. Perfect. The new DPW superintendent. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming down. I know it's kind of sloppy out there, and I really do appreciate it, you folks coming down. So, how's the job going?
The job's going great.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just taking a picture of the order to send to the maker.
Okay.
In case he has thoughts. I don't know if that's, I can do that or not, but
Modern technology.
modern technology, right? That's the only other one he's got on, yeah, right? Are you familiar with this order at all?
Well, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay. Well, I'd accept the motion that we table it.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Accept the motion for item number 2. All in favor?
All right.
Nelson Roman ordered that the city accept Temple Street as a public street.
I believe we discussed this one partly,
Yep.
so it's back on me to drop the plan and get all the waivers from the butters. And, I'll make recommendation to the DPW board to accept the road.
Is there a public hearing on our behalf of that to physically, after you, so does it go to the DPW board, the DPW board makes a recommendation to this committee,
Yes.
and then we take it back up, we have a public hearing on that?
Yes.
Public hearing, then after, people say yay, nay?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So it'll be back to you once everything's all signed and agreed. It'll probably be at least 2 months.
Questions?
Move that it's complied with?
So just so I'm clear, if we move that it's complied with, then the ball is completely out of our court?
Yes.
Okay, and it's in your court?
Yes.
Gotcha. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to take up number 3.
So moved.
So moved.
Counselor Vacon ordered that the city council consider accepting Wall Road as a city street and determine who currently owns the land. You're hitting them out of the park tonight, you have to keep going with it.
You know, again, this is the first time I've seen this too. I haven't had a chance to really look at what kind of plans we have and the condition of the road out there. I did drive by it. But it's a road that we do plow.
Do we own it? I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you just saw it, but I mean,
Well, it's not.
Who would own the
It's
road?
not an accepted road.
it's
so
not an accepted road, so it's, okay.
It's a public ways, but not an accepted public ways.
Now, is it possible that, could people own, I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be among the butters.
Right, so if there was a Breast-a-Hen Street and it would be my street and my responsibility.
It would be split among the butters.
Right, and our streets that are privately owned routinely, I mean, we're still picking up the trash, I would assume, and I would also assume that we're still plowing that street, even though we don't I mean, as you know, there's all sorts of these streets, Liberty Street, I could go on, all the streets that aren't city-owned. But I mean, we're still plowing them, and that doesn't come into that, when we get reimbursed from the state, we're unable to collect on those streets.
Right, unaccepted roads that are not reimbursable by the state, Chapter
Gotcha.
90.
Right.
Other community, if it's unaccepted road, you know, you try not to plow or any major maintenance at all. But trash pickup, sewers, if there's a sewer pipe, obviously that's going to be maintained by the sewer department or sewer, it's a part of the enterprise fund.
I think typically with private roads, they do get plowed, regardless of whether it's private or public. So like a road going to a subdivision, even though the road's not accepted by the city city would plow it as a courtesy to the residents.
Is the green light on your?
It is.
Okay. Counselor Greeny?
So you want us to table this until you do the research?
If you can. Yes.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to take up item number 4.
So moved.
Order that the DPW look into ways to improve Ogden Street and report back to the city council. This is an order filed by Councilor Bartley, Ward 3. This is an unpaved roadway, and the residents in the area would like to see the road paved as soon as possible.
Okay, so Ogden Street, portion of Ogden Street is accepted. This portion hasn't been accepted. So,
So half of it has been accepted?
and this portion, it's not half, it's less than half, but hasn't been accepted.
Right, so asking questions that, because I'm not in that world, why would the city accept a partial, why would they accept, and you weren't, no one was here probably at the time, but why would we accept a partial section of a street and not the entire street?
It was built, if there were so many houses built up to that point, you would accept the street up to that point. And maybe the portion that hasn't been accepted, those houses were built later, and we just never had
So less than half has not been accepted.
about.
And there are houses on that unpaved section?
2 houses, yes.
Do they use that unpaved section to access their houses?
It's a road, it's a public road.
You're gonna get used to this, but you gotta get right up onto this thing because it's all televised and all that stuff. So how do we, so we're paving, we're plowing rather an unpaved road on Ogden Street. Or a section of it, I should say.
Section of it's paved.
Right, a section of it's paved that we now own, or that we're,
So the order reads that it would like to be repaved, a portion that's paved already, that's not, the condition is pretty bad. But there's a section that's grass which I don't think that's what this order is intending to.
Okay. So, yeah, let me ask you, because you're the street guy, so to speak. What's your, I mean, Dave Bartley's order is obviously, he's looking to make this street one of ours, looking to get it paved. What are your recommendations?
My recommendation is to accept the street first, then come up with a fund to pave the portion that need to be paved.
So, again, which would mean you're going to go to the DPW commissioners. Would that be an accurate statement, and say we need to accept the street?
There would need to be an order filed by you guys
Yeah.
to have the street accepted.
Right, so in other words, Counselor Bartley, instead of saying ways to improve Ogden Street, your recommendation to improve Ogden Street is for the city of Holyoke to accept the entire street and then do what we need to do.
Then, go ahead.
So there's a portion of Ogden Street that goes from Arden Street to Lorraine Street. This portion is completely paved. There are houses on either side of Ogden Street, and they use this street to access their houses. Then there's a paper street for Ogden Street that continues from Lorraine to Homestead Avenue. A portion of this paper street is not paved. There are no houses that would use this portion of the paper street as access to their houses. They would have access either through Homestead or Granville Street. What Councilor Bartley is looking for is to pave from Lorraine Street to Homestead Avenue, which is a paper street. There is an unpaved way that people do use to drive through.
Can you see that there is a paved section?
There is a paved section. There's a small paved section off of Homestead Ave.
Correct.
All right, we're going to move to table this.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
All right,
Gentlemen, that was not about your answer, rest assured. Just so you know.
no, it wasn't, it was,
Motion to take up item number 5.
So moved.
Counselor Leahy ordered that the DPW provide the city council with the amount it cost on average per year for the last 4 years on the signage requested by the city council.
So we've done some research, and we don't have a 4-year record of, we don't have a record that will go back as far as 4-year accurately that we can, come up with. But we've done enough to, just to see how much it would cost, and the number I got from the highway supervisor is $86,000 worth of work in 1 year.
did you say 86?
$86,000. That's the price based on, if you look at per sign, how many signs you put up.
Okay,
And
what year would that be?
This last year.
Now, calendar 2015, not fiscal?
It's a year worth. It's not a calendar. It's yes, it's a fiscal year.
Okay, so that would be fiscal year 2016.
Yes.
Now, I clearly,
That's for everything, not just new sign. That's for replacing and then new sign, signs that have been hit,
stolen, beaten up, hit by a
stolen,
car.
anything.
Now, this is
But
not,
it only includes signs that are physically installed.
Right.
There are some orders that are made where it's determined that the sign is not appropriate. So there is time associated with doing the research, the traffic counts that goes into the engineering design that's not accounted in that 86,000.
right, so the $86,000, so I'm clear, is signs that are physically in the ground for fiscal year 2016. And
That's
listen,
just highway time.
I'm sorry?
That's just the highway labor time.
And this is, it was calculated based on the sign type, and it would, the cost of that sign is, we didn't look at each individual stop sign. So we said each stop sign costs a certain amount. Each no parking sign costs a certain amount. So we didn't itemize every single stop sign or no parking sign.
But that's all the signs that were put up. That's not just ones that were requested by the city council. That's everything that was done for the year, right?
That's everything.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I think what Jim was trying to get at there is what's requested by the city council.
Yeah, an average over the 4-year period, so
Yeah. But those are signs.
sure it's that
It
way.
all depends on the years, you know. Some year you replace more signs.
Everything that they did for the whole year,
Right.
which is far more than what the council requested.
Right. So that's right. So what Councilor Sullivan, that's just not putting the sign in the ground. That's the schematics of it, the engineer's opinion of it, if hired hands had to be out to do it. That's just not like it was $86,000 for all because the city council ordered 600 signs and 600 signs cost $86,000. That's the whole getting it into the ground with the pole. If there's any studies that had to be done because it's a very busy intersection.
No, I don't believe it includes the studies and the legwork. I think the way that the $86,000 was calculated was based on a rate per sign, and
A pay rate.
well, not a pay rate, not even a labor rate, an hour rate. It's a rate that the DPW would charge an insurance company should a motorist hit a sign or somebody vandalize a sign and get caught vandalizing a street sign. In the past, when that would happen, we would send that person a bill to say to replace this street sign, it cost $150, $200 to replace the stop sign. It costs this much. So what Dave did was he went back a year and counted all of the one-way signs and yield signs and all the different types of signs that were put up. He then took our rate per sign and applied it to the count of signs.
Now, moving forward, just in case an order comes up like this, I'm going to assume that there would be, and I know this isn't on either of you, but is there some sort of tracking mechanism that we're going to start putting in place, or that's just so we could find out if someone says, how much did it cost in 2020 when someone said, how much did it cost in 2016 for signs? Or is it just a pain in the neck to do something like that?
I mean, it could be done. The systems aren't in place right now to do that. If it would involve engineering staff more diligently keeping track of exactly how much time it takes to do the counts and do the engineering work associated with the signs. It would take other DPW staff somewhat of an effort to keep track of how long does it take them to make the signs, to install the posts, the materials that go. I mean, we could really drill down into the nitty-gritty.
I mean, I don't think.
Unfortunately, we don't have a work order system.
Right.
I mean, ideally, if there's a work order system where the minute the order is in place, my time would be logged, and the minute that you approve the order, then the DPW time is logged, and then install time. And at the end of the year, we can punch in the number and see what kind of signs, how many.
Well, let me ask you this: since you're both worked in different communities, do other communities have a work order system like that?
East Hampton does not.
I came from Long Meadow, they do have one,
They did have one.
yeah.
Well, they want to know where their money's going, right?
Nobody knocks signs down.
You know,
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gas and Electric has a work order system or Holyoke Waterworks has one.
Okay.
I know there's always been talk about instituting a system, but there's a cost associated with that.
All right. So basically, in my opinion, this order's been complied with. I mean, we don't have the 4 years, but we got the one. If Counselor Leahy wants to file something with respect to the work order systems or all that, then he surely has that right to do that. So the sign, the $86,000 is our time, our labor, our signs.
Approximately.
Right, we're not exactly,
Right.
I mean, listen, I know it's not exactly $86,000, rest assured, gentlemen. I'm just trying, to
Right.
throw them a number.
If DPW was to send this city a bill for all of the signs that were installed, the bill would be for $86,000.
Gotcha.
Okay. Move that it's complied with.
Once, yeah.
Counselor Sullivan?
Well, once again, I believe Counselor Leahy's order was for signs ordered by the city council, all right? And the number we're getting here is a gross number. It seems like it's going to be very difficult to weed out of that which ones are ordered by the city council and which ones are just being replaced through traffic accidents, wear and tear, vandalism, that kind of stuff.
Right, so
you know?
those numbers might be a lot lower if it's just, like, if we ordered, I mean, signs for, a lot of handicap, obviously, all the handicap signs come out of this, out of this built office, this room.
If you would like, we could go back into our records and separate the two. It would take us a little bit more time. We wouldn't be able to do it right now, but we could confirm exactly how much of those signs were for city council.
But, I mean, we can't go back 4 years, right? Which, again, this is not, nobody's on the barbecue here. We're not trying to grill
Right.
anybody. We're just trying to he filed the order. I can't speak to what the gist of it was. If we can't go back 4 years, we can't go back 4 years.
I'm not sure how far we can go back.
Okay. Yem?
Like I say, we can try to, but again, how accurate and,
So a better order, in your opinion might be to file an order that we get this work order system, so it's something like this could be closely monitored for what, city councils are always ordering signs.
And a work order system would be more than just for the signs as well. I mean, it could be for the tree that came down on Park Slope. That would go into a work order system
Right.
to keep track of everything.
That's what I'm in the work order system world in my job, so yeah, I get it. All right, so,
But without funding, we wouldn't be able to implement.
I get that too. So the order was that the city council, the DPW provides city council with the costs on signage requested by the council. That $86,000 is actually all signs you've put up for any reasons in FY16.
correct.
Okay. You
I'll
go with it?
defer to Yem.
All right. All right. So what do you think?
Myself, I think if we maybe table it, I think what we really need is just an average cost per sign, and then put it back on the city council if we want that number, have our administrative assistant keep track of how many orders we file every year and just multiply it by that number.
But let me ask you this, logistically, do we have a way, and again, this is not an aggressive question, but do we have a way, we would just basically, someone would have to go back in the records to see how many signs were ordered by the city council for the past 4 years, which wouldn't be easy, and then see how many signs went up that you guys put up, which wouldn't be easy. Is that,
It could be done.
right, but
And if we had another, how often do you meet? Is it every other week, or
every other week, the city council meets, correct?
how often does this?
It depends, it depends on how many orders come my way.
Okay.
We probably met once last month, once this month.
Can we come back the next meeting?
Yeah, fine, yep, that's fine.
Okay.
So we're on table?
Yep.
Move to table.
Second,
All in favor?
all right.
Motion to accept item number 7.
So moved.
This order was filed by Councilor Lisi, order that the city look into adding a no loitering sign on Main Street near the car wash. The car wash in question is down by the old Gary Rome Plaza and across the street from the Ford one.
Is this one for us?
Who's it for?
This, we did this before, didn't we?
Right, well, the problem was is that there's signs that have been put on the building that say no loitering. I don't know if, I mean, do no loitering signs go on streets? Or do they go on properties? I mean, it looks like, reading her order, and again, she's not here. Reading her order, it seems that she's looking to have a no loitering sign on Main Street near the car wash. I mean, and I know there's, I mean, that is, no, there's actually two car washes. There's one at the Dunkin' Donuts there. But do we put no loitering signs on streets that are ours, that we own?
Is it possible to put a no loitering sign at the beginning on a telephone pole, or do we own the telephone pole and at the end of the telephone pole? Like you put a no parking between the two signs, no loitering, from one spot A to spot B where the car wash is. Maybe that would satisfy what her order is, I don't know.
We would have to, install the sign on our own post and not on the telephone poles.
Okay.
Is it possible? Yes.
The installation of the sign in the pole, not the telephone pole or the electrical pole.
Correct.
In other words, no loitering between signs.
Right, but they would have to put a pole on.
Yeah,
I mean, again, a steel pole, not the telephone pole.
but it is possible.
It is possible.
Okay.
And we erect those types of signs, not no loitering signs, but signs on a galvanized pole all the time.
Could we get a cost projection for the next public safety meeting? What it would cost for something like that?
We could, yeah. Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'm not sure what the Council Lisi's motivation is, but if we could see if it's cost effective to do it, why not?
I think the cost would be nominal in the grand scheme of things.
I'd like to make a motion that we give the order leave to withdraw.
I second that motion. All in favor?
All right?
Aye.
And I'll just get, on that thought, I'll just give you the backdrop of that very briefly, because it is getting sloppy out. There's a car wash on Main Street owned by the gentleman across the street that runs a Ford gas station. In my conversation with the neighbors today, they've actually hired a security guard. They've posted signs, because what would happen is that the car wash, the ones you would drive into and spray yourself, 2 o'clock in the morning, well, guess who's hanging out in there? People that aren't getting their car washed. So the owner put up signs on the building that allowed the police the authority to kick them off the property, and he has a security team that's been going over there a couple times a week. The neighbors that are in that area are very happy, because what would happen is that's where they would kind of soup up their cars and start drag racing on Main Street. That section of Main Street is very long by Dean Vocational. As you can imagine, you get, it's a big, long route, long street. So I will speak to Councilor Lisi. If she wants to file something else a little bit clearer, then we'll take it up again. But I think it's been resolved. Okay. So we don't want to give you any more work than you boys need, if you get my drift. Accept the motion to take item 8 off the table.
So moved.
Item 8 reads that Councilor Vacon has ordered that solar-powered lights be added to the stop signs at the Southampton Road and County Road intersection. The two in Southampton have these lights and are much more visible to drivers, and paint stop lines at each stop sign. It's your night, or it's and Mike's night tonight.
I recommend that we do the same as Southampton and East Hampton, but Mike can speak on the cost of it. It's a little more expensive than the regular stop sign.
So let me just write that down, because I got to talk about this later on. You're recommending that we do it here at Southampton Road and County Road, and Southampton Road and East Hampton Road.
And County Road and
Line? No.
and Line Road,
Right.
similar to the Southampton and East Hampton border. The same type of sign.
Right. So just so we're clear, though, Southampton and County. Now,
Up at Bashistas,
right, but Southampton and East Hampton is you either go straight to go to East Hampton or you take a left onto Southampton? Mm-hmm. Right, so you're recommending that you put
The same type of sign as what you see in East Hampton and Southampton, which is a solar-powered stop sign. Solar power lit stop signs.
but that sign that you're talking about that's there already, I mean, you're recommending that you would put that solar-powered stop sign where on Southampton and East Hampton? As you're coming up as you're on Southampton Road, driving up to East Hampton Road?
I'm recommending that we put two signs, one on Line and one on County Road on the Holyoke side.
Isn't there a stop sign on Line and County Road now coming south? There is a solar-powered stop sign
Yep,
there.
yes.
You're talking about putting one on the other side of the street?
You're
Going
putting
north.
two on the Holyoke side,
North, On
yes,
the Holyoke side.
going north, yes.
There is this blinking stop sign going south. You're talking about putting one going north?
Yes.
Okay.
And how much money do we need?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, all right. So again, her order is that solar-powered lights be added to the stop signs at Southampton Road and County Road. There is one there currently, but just not on our property.
It's about $1,500 per
Per
install.
stop sign.
Per stop, so.
There's one going south. It's on the Southampton side. On our side, Southampton Road, the other side is Southampton, on our side is Holyoke.
Right, but if I'm coming down Southampton Road, I take a left and I'm going to Southampton. If I take a right, I'm going to East Hampton. Is that correct?
No, that's Old County. No, if you're coming straight down Old County, they're right when you get to that street that comes up to Bishista, there is a solar-powered stop sign on the side of the street coming south. He's talking about putting it on the right side. It's a four-way intersection.
Right, so do you have $1,500 in your budget to put it up? I mean,
But is it just one sign, or are we talking multiple
Two.
signs? So two signs. I would need to look at the budget and, find space. I know the budgets were set before. I don't know if we were planning on this when the budget was set.
all right.
If we could have more time
Yeah, of course.
to get further into the year. If it keeps snowing, budgets will disappear quick.
Table till the next meeting?
Yep.
Move the table to the next meeting?
Second,
All in favor?
all right.
Move to take 9 off the table?
Second,
Gentlemen, well, unless you want to stay and talk about recreational marijuana, you're free to go. What I'm going to do, though, Mike, is I'm going to put Linda in contact with you about the finances. Obviously, the engineer recommends it. As everything, it comes down to dollars. So maybe you two can talk, and then that way, the next time we have a public safety meeting, we can just kind of bang it out and get done with it. And just to kind of go over again a couple things. Temple Street, you're going to get back to me, and so that's been tabled. Wall Road, it's been tabled. You're going to do some research. And then Liberty Street as well.
Well, Liberty Street, it's all set for you to post a hearing.
Okay. I'm sorry?
Table.
Ogden. Research on Ogden.
Right, so you guys are going to do research on Temple Street, Wall Road, Ogden Street. Five with the street signs. 6, Liberty Street, we're going to do a public hearing on. 7's leave to withdraw. 8's been tabled. So,
Thank you.
yeah, we do a lot of signs in this committee, apparently. Mike, again, welcome aboard. Congratulations. Nice to see you. Yem has Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming down, guys. I appreciate it. Drive safe.
Well, we tabled it, but I think we tabled it. But it's, yeah, they're gonna come back to us with an average cost per sign.
Motion's been made and accepted that item number 9 be taken off the table. Order that the city council adopt a resolution in opposition to the legislation of the recreational use of marijuana in Massachusetts and send a letter to our state delegation and the governor to this effect. I will speak that on Tuesday, City Councilor Kevin Jordan and our Mayor Alex Morse debated that for a little bit. There's been, Kevin's thoughts has been publicly posted everywhere. I mean, we don't have to go into we can, I have no problem, we don't need to go into the ins and outs of it. I think if people have a decision on it, what their thoughts are on it, we could certainly make a motion, have that motion voted on, and then at the full city council meeting, folks can get into a little bit more depth of their views and thoughts on that. If my colleagues choose to discuss it in full form tonight, that's fine. So I leave it at you, what your thoughts are and how you want to move forward on this.
I'll speak to it. I believe on November 8th, at the polls, this question is going to be answered by the voters in Massachusetts. So anything that the city council does, we are going to be susceptible to the state law, whichever it is anyways, at any rate. I'm not sure, what we should do with this pending that particular vote from the voters in Massachusetts.
Councilor Sullivan?
Yeah, I totally concur with what Councilor Graney said, and I'd also like to add to it that we've gone through this several times now. I don't believe this is the place of the city council to be making recommendations of this type or taking sides on an issue. It should be left totally up to the voters. I think it should be given leave to withdraw. I'd make a motion to give it leave to withdraw.
I really wasn't going to speak to this order, but I tend to agree with Kevin. I think that, and I tend to agree with you, Councilor Sullivan, as well. This is a referendum question. Politicians and elected officials can get it, can say whatever they want, but this has come to fruition because, our mayor is the only mayor in the state of Massachusetts out of the hundreds that are mayors of communities in Massachusetts that voted to support legalization of recreational use of marijuana. Now, whether or not you're for the recreational use of marijuana is really not something I want to talk about. I do feel that, it's been decriminalized. If there's a reason for you to ingest marijuana on any level for medical reasons, it is allowed. It's not difficult to get a medical marijuana card. I just think that the folks that may have spoken out against this, the voters of our city, I just think they should be recognized. Again, it's the will of the body, and certainly whatever outcome comes of this tonight, we can certainly discuss it that night. I don't want to go into the healthcare providers or all the associations of medical professionals that are against it, all the law enforcement agencies are against it. I mean, we could do that till midnight tonight. But I just think that this order, again, is a reaction to the mayor making a gesture where, again, if the will of the body is that, well, the people get to vote on it, Kevin, we should give it leave to withdraw, shouldn't have been filed, then I would just, my rebuttal to that would be that, perhaps our mayor should not have made any comments as the as no other mayor has or town administrator has in 351 communities in our state on this matter. So again, you make a, it's 2 votes to 1 on any level, whether we say, yes, we should adopt it, no, we should give it leave to withdraw. I know where I am on this. I'll accept the motion either way, and we can move from there.
Well, on this issue, I'm opposed to the legalization of recreational marijuana, so I'll make a motion that the council goes on record and files a resolution.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
2-1, motion passes. I'd accept the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.